The man convicted of killing his pregnant wife and 2 daughters in Colorado has been sentenced to life in prison. The mother of Christopher Watts' wife, Shanann, explained why she didn't want him to face the death penalty.
So not only did you take the family of 4, your family of 4, you took your own life. I want the world to know that our daughter and her children were so loved by us. There will always be protected by God and his mighty angels. I didn't want death for you because that's not my right. Your life is between you and God now, and I pray that he has mercy for you. From Shannon's mother, Bella Marie, Celeste Catherine, and Nico Lee's, Nana. Thank you, Your Honor.
Watts will not have a chance for parole. The judge called the crime the most, quote, inhumane and vicious he had ever seen in his career. In addition to murder charges, he also pleaded guilty to 1 count of unlawful termination of a pregnancy and 3 counts of tampering with a deceased human body. CBS News national correspondent Mark Strassmann has been following the trial from Greenlee, Colorado. Mark, thanks for joining us. Did today's sentencing give us any possible insight into why Christopher Watts may have committed this heinous crime?
Tanya, why, of course, is the great unanswered question here. And I think everybody who walked into this courtroom for this sentencing hearing walked out not having any greater understanding of what exactly was going through Christopher Watts' mind and heart when he now admits that he murdered his wife, who was pregnant, 15 weeks pregnant with their unborn son, and also their 2 young daughters. I mean, look, Tanya, this was a sentencing hearing. The headline here is 3 consecutive life sentences with no possibility of parole. But within this 45-minute hearing, it was just so thick with emotion, a combination of anguish, bewilderment, rage. In particular, Frank Ruzek, who is the father of Christopher Watts' dead wife, he was furious. He was so angry, called him a heartless monster, repeated that phrase, heartless monster, over and over, said prison is too good for you. He was disgusted by not only the murders, but how Watts carried the children out of the house, their bodies, and then also his wife, like garbage, like trash, the father said. He was really, really angry. Both sets of parents spoke, both her parents and his parents. His parents seemed stunned beyond belief. They have accepted that their son did this. They are bewildered by what he did. They don't understand it either. They understand that nothing that they can say or do, and nothing that he can say or do at this point, will ever bring them back and atone for whatever it is that he has now done, the incomprehensible hurt and anguish that he has caused. They encouraged him, and this, I think, perhaps they were speaking for everybody in the room at this point, they encouraged him to make a full confession. Tell what you did, why you did it, what was going through your mind, so people can get some sort of a sense of all this. Because, Tanya, at this point, again, he is off to prison for the rest of his life, presumably to think about what he did. But also all the broken hearts that he leaves behind, all those people will also be thinking about what he did for the rest of their lives, too.
Oh, Mark, it was just heart-wrenching listening to the family's testimony in that courtroom. But what about Christopher himself? Did he have any kind of reaction or statement for the court?
He didn't. One of his lawyers spoke for him very, very briefly, saying he's devastated by what has happened too. But when the judge asked him if he had anything to say, he said, no, sir. Throughout this hearing, for the most part, he was in his orange prison jumpsuit. His head was down. He seemed to be trembling, shaking, possibly crying. His leg was bouncing up and down, but he had nothing to say. One other thing, Tanya, there was some new evidence that was revealed today, and until today, much of the details of what happened that night, August 13th of this year, have not been released. And some of them, frankly, are so gruesome, it's really not worth getting into. But I'll tell you this much. After he strangled his wife, prosecutor Michael Rourke said he went on to smother his 2 children. One of the 2 children clearly showed signs of a struggle. I mean, all of this is just horrific beyond belief. And for anyone who is in that courtroom today, that is a 45 minutes they will always remember, just because, as you say, it was so heartbreaking and so gut-wrenching to listen to.
Just pray for that family to finally find some peace now. Well, Mark Strassmann, thank you so much.